Hello, so I'm going to try and whiz through this. I'm going to move you better fairly quickly because my battery on my camera is going on my phone. And the last one went on longer than I anticipated. So, so basically, this is the ephemera that we're going to do. These are the tags that I've just cut out. Nothing spectacular. I'm not going to back them. I'm just going to leave them as they are, rough and ready. I've got some punchy things that I'm going to pop on, probably that way around. Eyelets. So I'm just going to grab my puncher and I can get my mitts on it. I think it's in this drawer. And I've chosen some pieces of sari silk as well to go with them. Never find anything when you want it, can you? That's because my battery's going. I've got a drawer absolutely full of stuff. Here it is. It's always the last thing you pick up. Although you won't continue searching, would you, I guess? Anyway, so I'm just going to use a piece of the ephemera on the front. And I think that's just what I'm going to do. I'm just going to make these so simple. Obviously, you can play around and... Oh, I really like that one. Do whatever you like. I think the stronger colour I'm going to... Oh, no, hang on. I'm going to try and put, like, the pink on the green, a yellow on the pinky one, and then if there's a more green one that I can put on here. It needs to be the right way around. Quite like that one. Oh, really like that one, though. Yeah, I'm going to do it that way. I'm going to grab a little bit of book page to back it, just to give it a bit of interest. So I've got some, but I want some paler colour, like the whiter colour. I don't want some, this isn't a grungy journal. I don't want anything too dark because it's not the vibe I'm going for. So I've got a little bit of ledger there as well that we could use. Okay, so I'm just gonna, to pack the picture, I say I'm not doing much to them now, look at me getting carried away. Just to back this, and then I'm just going to tear around it. No neat edges, no measuring required. I'm going to do it that way, I think. And then we're just going to sort of do that. Tear that down. That's going to need tearing down some more. Now I need to do the top as well. You see, it's like once you start, that's it. It's like a can of Pringles. That's it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I do, because I can't help myself, have some trim as well that I pulled out, or some bits of stuff. So although I'm going to use the ribbon for these, I do have some little bits and pieces that, can you see what I'm doing? That are all sort of springtimey that I pulled out. You see, that's far too big. I don't know why pineapples. Should we have a little flower? Should we have a little springtime flower? Will you work? The first one's bent, so I'm not going to use that. Should do it like that. I have a thing about threes. I feel like when you have a cluster, you have to have it in three, and the third thing sort of pins it. Don't ask. All right, so just showing you what I've done so far. So we finished the tags. So we did these two on camera. You can see those. And then this one I did off camera. I cut the sentiment off the bottom, trimmed it down and just sort of placed it lower and backed that onto some French book page. Used the cream sari silk. So we've got a couple of tags there. I've also got a couple which I've just sort of used. Oh, that one's come off. That's annoying. Let me redo that. This I've just stapled, or attempted to staple, some doily to this one. just a teeny tiny little one, and then that I've just glued a little bit of trim to the top. I do have this spiky one as well, which I cut using my stamp scissors. It was the image had a beveled edge, so I've used that, and then I've got, if I can find what I've done with it, the little, there we are, just this little offcut with the butterflies. I think I'm just going to attach that to the top, and then that can be the little tag for that. So there's a couple of little taggies there to go in. Just something a bit different rather than the old ribbon. And then the rest of the ephemera I will leave. I'll put in the journal, but I'll leave for whoever gets the journal, whoever buys it, to do what they like. And whoever buys this journal, I will also send you a free copy of the full digital kit if you wanted to do any more bits and pieces with it. So I'm rushing, as I said, because my camera's, the battery's not going to last. So I've put the signatures together, and I've just added in a couple of pockets here and there. I've just added them in with glue, another one there, and I will run them through my sewing machine. On one of these back pages, possibly this one, I'm also going to put a little belly band on this, I think. So I've got this trim here that I can't remember where I got this from. I'm just going to use that as a little belly band, I think. So I'm just going to snip that sort of there-ish. Again, pop a piece of glue down either side, and then, because it's paper backed, it's quite easy to do. And then I'm going to run that through my sewing machine as well. So I'm just going to have just a different element in there. And that is that one. On the front as well, I've taken some of the stripe fabric that I'm going to use for the signature, and I'm just going to add some tabs. So I'm going to add that one at the top, I think, and this one lower down. And again, I'm going to put these through the sewing machine. So I'm just going to run a little bead of glue there. And pop that on up to that first pink line, I think. Try and do it straight, Donna, if you can. Looks fairly straight. And then the same the other side. I don't know how well this is coming on the camera. And then I'm just going to run a stitch down as well, just to pin it in. So that's that one. So this one, as I said, I'm going to do a little bit lower down because I want them to, I need to pull that out slightly actually. So about there. Nearly on Bo Peep's head. Gosh, they're so fiddly. Try and do it straight. And then just a little bit on this side. So this is just to tack it in place until I stitch it down. Okay. In the second signature, I've also stuck a couple of pockets in. So I've got one there, and I think I put one towards the back there. I'm going to pick a page, possibly this very pink one, and I've got some dotty green fabric that I wanted to make a pocket with. So I'm just going to measure, just going to fold kind of where I want this to be, the depth of the pocket, and then they've both got a little fabric element in as well. Obviously, you know, this isn't a tutorial as in like, you know, this is what you must do to make this journal using my kit. You know, as I said, the kit is, as you can tell, very rough and ready, very basic, but I think has got just the right background elements and colours and textures to be and enough little vintagey ephemera pieces just to be a nice little start if you wanted to make a little spring journal. You can use it as a base and work from there. So again, just going to tack this on and then stitch it afterwards. If you do ever find that you go over with the glue a little bit, I won't be able to find this now that I want it. If you get yourself, they call them a cement square. You've probably heard me bang on about them before. Here it is. And it's like a little rubber cement square, and it just gets rid of any glue. They're wonderful, and they don't ruin your paper, as long as you hold your paper, of course. So yeah, a little thing for you there. Now I do also have a couple of pieces of trim, which I was going to pop one in one signature and one in the other, but I think I'll do that once they're sewn in, because I'm just going to glue these in, I think, because I'm only just a little bit conscious I'm going to hide the tabs. But then I guess perhaps if I did it at the halfway point, that looks quite, then that tab's there, and then the green tabs. Actually, yes, I'm going to do that, and sod it, I'm going to do it now, and I'll run another stitch on. So I'm just going to pull this one out. And put my, it is a pineapple, I'm certain it's meant to be a pineapple, but well, pineapples can be springtime, can they? Probably not. There we are, and just trim this end. It's in a bit of an abrupt ending there. So that's that one. Yeah, it just peeks out ever so slightly. And then in the centre pages again, I think I'm going to do the green, just to peek out ever so slightly. Smush this one because it's more fabricy and I don't want it ruining. There we go. Oh yeah, I like that edge. The colours go, I think. So, right, I'm going to go take this to the sewing machine, do some stitching, and just put a bit more battery on this phone. I'll be back. Okay, so I've done all the sewing. I've got my two signatures, everything's stitched in nicely, and they are ready to sew in. Can't quite see the tab as much as I'd have liked, but you know what, it's fine. You can see the bits peeking through. I like the colours. You can't see what I'm doing. I like the colours. I think they go really well, and I think it's going to be quite a cute little journal. So I need to sew the signature next. I need to stitch these two into a signature. So I've got a piece of paper, which is the width of the spine that I've measured, so it's the ruler width. Can you see what I'm doing? So it's the ruler width, and it is the height of my signatures. And I've measured where my two signatures are going to go. So I've kind of, it's ever so slightly wonky. I think one's slightly wider than the other because it wasn't quite, I thought it was nearly 3, but it wasn't. So I did just one a little over 1 and one, well, a little under 2 actually, but there we go. Such is life. The second piece of paper, so this is going to go on the back of my fabric, nice and hidden, so I can see, it's going to go that way, where to sew my signatures. And then this is going to get glued, so the signatures will be stitched in this side, and it's going to get glued into the book and those sides stuck down. This is what I'm going to use so I know where to punch my holes. So I'm going to line it up. I'm going to mark the top. I can't tell you how many times I have done this upside down. I think literally the last big journal I did it upside down. It's, yeah, part of the job, but it's one that I'm particularly good at messing up. Now I'm folding this in half because this is going to go in the centre of my signatures, so I need it straight. But what I need to do is open it back up, is mark off exactly where I need to punch. So I'm going to do it that way. So there, in the centre, there, and then right at the bottom is there. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. Maybe I should have just turned the edges of this over as well, ever so slightly, but then it'll be too short. Just a bit conscious it's going to fray, so I am going to I think just the top, just going to do it like a smidgen. And then if the bottom's a little shorter, it doesn't really matter. In fact, we'll do both edges to keep it neat. And then, as I say, if the bottom's a little shorter, it doesn't really matter. I just don't want any loose, fray bits like I'm already getting. So if I just, like, the smallest little edge on it. I haven't actually put enough glue on that, have I? That isn't very straight at all, but it's the bottom, so it's fine. Just trying to move it. So, you see how I get sidetracked doing silly little things that are going to bug me? Right, so that's going to be my top. Plenty of glue on it because I don't want it to fall off, but I'm going to smush it because although this is going to be hidden, you will see the middle of the spine every now and then. So when you open between your signatures, you will see the middle of it. Sorry, I'm just having to get that glue off my hand again. Make sure that it's not visible. Really, I should have folded it over the paper. Is it too late to fold it over the paper? I feel it's too late. That would have been a better idea. Open, open, open. That would have been so much neater. There. More glue. As I say, the back doesn't matter. This is the bit that's getting stuck down. See, really, I should have done it at the bottom as well, but I'm not going to worry too much about that. Okay, there we are. Sorted. So, now I need to get my punch. And I'm just going to punch these holes. Careful if you're doing this at home that you don't impale yourself. And try and make sure you actually get the hole like what I just did there on that first one. Upside down. Try and hold your fabric quite taut when you're doing this, because you don't want any puckering. Okay. And then again, make sure you've got your signatures the right way up. Go to the center, make sure you've got your this the right way up. Clip your pages if you need to, and then you will punch. I need to put some more tape on my cradle. Punch, punch, and then the second one, again the right way up. Make sure this is the right way up. Punch, punch. This is why you have to put tape on your book cradle, because otherwise it falls through like that when you're trying to punch your holes. As an excellent a design as they are, it is a bit of a flaw with them. Okay, make sure I've got these the right way around as well. And you've all seen sewing in signatures before, I am certain, but 1, 2, 3 times the length of your signature is the right amount. Grab a needle, thread it. You can still see everything I'm doing, I hope. I hope you could see all that. And then think about what you're doing. So this is my front signature. I want it to go there. So I'm going to start, you should start with the back. I don't know, I've always started with the back. I think you should start with the back. I'm sure there's a reason for it, I just can't think what it is. So I'm starting with the back, and I'm starting with the back. Everything's upwards the right way. And then you just attach it as you would a normal signature. Sorry, I know that bit's off camera, but I can't see what I'm doing. I should have put my glasses on really, but straight down to the bottom, through the bottom of the signature, not losing my tail. Back in, there'll be a chance to tighten everything up in a second. There's no elegant way to do this, especially since I've just lost. No, I haven't. I've gone through the wrong blooming bit. But yeah, there's no elegant way to sew in a signature. It's lots of twiddling round, spinning round, upside down, losing your thread. You see? As many years as I've been doing this, this still happens. There. And we're back through. Pull everything nice and tight, not too tight so it bends, but tight enough so it's secure. One piece of thread either side of your signature, and then just check. So this is the back signature, that's the top, so this is the back of the book. I'm upside down currently. The top, the back of the book, that's the right way around, everything's the right way around, we're all happy. Pull, fasten, fasten. Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Fasten. And some people leave them long and add charms and stuff. I'm just going to snip mine short. So that's the first one. And now the second one, same again. Can you see what I'm doing? 1, 2, 3. I usually mark out on my desk where the camera can see to, and I haven't today, so I'm sorry if this has been a bit all over the place. I thought this was going to be a really quick here's my kit, do you want to use it type of thing. And then I've got carried away again. So the top, the right way around, we're all good. We're sewing in, don't lose the tail, top of that, and this is where you could do a like 19 hands. Can you see what I'm doing? Why aren't you going through the pages? All it takes is you just angle your needle ever so slightly askew, and that's it. It becomes the hardest thing in the world to do. Make sure I've got my tail that way. In there. You see what I mean about the twiddling round? I can't help it. It's just got to be done. Tighten everything up. Nice and tight. Right way round. Everybody's happy. Tie that way. Tie that way. Something called, is it called a box knot? So you sort of cross that way and then you cross that way. And there we are. Those are my signatures. So, I'll put these away. I've charged the camera now, so we should be all right for a little bit, although I've just knocked it. Get my cover back. So just before I glue anything in, I just want to check that my signature, once I fold it up, should fit quite nicely, just with these little bits tucking out. Cool. So it is slightly shorter than the book, and actually I've done it a little bit shorter still, which is a little bit annoying. And I'm lucky, can you see, because I trimmed this down again, I'm lucky that actually where I fold it to just covers. So what I'm going to do, I think, when I put my cover piece on here is I'm going to go to the edges and just cover over that just for neatness. This is because I allowed an extra little bit top and bottom, but can you see how much it looked like I wasn't giving very much, but just that little bit, that glue, just that little bit top and bottom actually seems to give you quite a lot on your cover, if that makes sense. That little 1/2 inch top and bottom, the cover, you know, you almost drowns it really, but yeah. So I'm going to put some glue here on my signature, plenty of it as well. This won't seep through here because of the quilting that I use, but obviously be conscious of what material you're sticking it to. If you find that you've used a thin cover, then you just want to be careful and maybe smush your glue. You perhaps use slightly less glue. Think about maybe using tape. And then I'm just going to line it up. Make sure it's straight. Swizzle it around. Make sure that's straight. And then I'm just going to use a bone folder just to adhere that little bit at that side. I just want to put a piece of paper under this just as I'm twiddling it round, just to make sure my desk is clean. I usually have a really big A3 size piece of paper down, but it's under my laptop next to me at the minute. I can't quite grab it. So if I open that, press it down in the middle. So you see what I'm saying about, you make sure you use a nice fabric in the middle that you're happy for people to see, because it is going to be visible. So that's that piece. So I'm just going to add a little clip there just to hold them in place a minute. And then I'm just going to add some glue here for this next bit. Just for these little flippy flappies. And I am going to once I've put my cover piece on the top, I'm going to stitch this as well. But I just want to, all the extra security you can get is not a bad thing. So I'll do the other side and then I'll come back. Okay, so I've glued that down. It's not quite dry yet. You should probably leave it to dry, but I'm just gonna crack on. So the next bit I need to do is literally just the inner pieces. So I just need to measure a nice neat piece of fabric to go here, one to go here on the back and front. I think I might just use some of the stripe. I think it works so well that I think that I'd be daft not to. So let me just see what pieces I've got. I mean, I do have a whole load of it here. If I don't have to cut into it, I won't. I want to do it that way. So, my shears. So if I cut down here, I'm just measuring this very roughly because I'm going to fold these in again. Oh, missed the back piece. I'm cutting through two because I'm going to obviously do the front and the back. So that's the piece I'm going to use. I'm going to have to get the mini cricket back out. That's annoying. I'm going to need ironing. This is why I want a huge craft room so everything can just stay plugged in, ready to switch on. And I don't have to mess about pulling stuff out of drawers every 5 minutes. So, yeah, if I just fold that in slightly, that'll be nice and neat. Just going to trim that down. Obviously, if you could take your fabric, you could add some pockets to it if you wanted. You could sew them on before you stitch the panel in. Yeah, just a little fold either way will be fine. Right, I'm going to do that and then I'm going to come back. Okay, so just moving my cricket back out the way. I've stitched the inner panels now. I'm just going to trim some threads. And we're pretty much done. So I've stitched them front and back just to secure everything down, so everything it's not going anywhere. It's all super secure, very neat. If you can see. So that's the inner panel. Obviously you could have put pockets and things on if you wanted to. So then all I've got to do now is just go through and fill the journal. We've put pockets, we've put belly bands in. That's the panel at the back that's all sewn in. The only other thing I'm going to do, sorry, getting sidetracked, is just on the front. I just want to put a bit of something else. So I found this butterfly, which I was thinking about popping on somewhere. Or what I think actually, then I found this little Easter egg button, and I think I'm just going to put it there. I think. I don't know, which do you prefer? Or does it sort of limit it to Easter then if it's a little button? Because I've found some, hang on, I've got some of this chiffon ribbon that I thought would be a nice closure. The colour's just spot on, the pink. So I was going to use that as just a loose closure, and actually the Easter egg might be quite nice just to tie it round. So I think I'm going to do that. I mean, I could do both, couldn't I, really? Is it just a bit much? Or maybe I'll do that on the front, and maybe I'll just glue that on the back. I don't know. See, now I don't know. I do like the thought of the Easter egg, and I like just a little bit of green on it. Yeah, I'm going to do the Easter egg. We're going to leave I think we'll leave the butterfly. I don't think. I might glue it inside. I'll see. So yeah, let me do that then. Hang on. Okay, I finished. So I've added the Easter egg button on there. And then the pink ribbon ribbon all the way around, and I'm quite pleased with it. I haven't attached the ribbon to the Easter egg, I've just sort of done it loosely. I still might put this on the inside, although obviously I can't stitch it on because the stitches would come through to the front. So but I do, yeah, should we just do it? I do think I'm going to glue this on. But yeah, that's it. So I'm going to pop this up for sale. I have been putting everything in my coffee shop of late, and I'm going to continue that for the time being, I think. I don't get much traffic from Etsy anymore, and I've mentioned this previously, so I think I'll bob it in my coffee shop if anybody would like to purchase it. And as I say, whoever purchases it, I will send you a free copy of the digital as well, just in case you want to do anything further. Nearly went with me then. So I'm going to let that dry before I do anything else, before I close it up. I don't want anything sticking. And I'll film a little flip through later. But yeah, that's my journal. I'm really pleased with how it's turned out. It's got way out of hand. It was supposed to be a simple little single signature, super fast make, but that's how these things start, isn't it? Yeah, pleased with that. Happy days. Thanks for watching.